Okay, we're here at Newcastle Airport. I'm here an hour early for the champ, 7-time champ. I think he's landed now, so I'm just waiting for him to get his bags. And he'll be through in 15-20 minutes, I think the time is. Yeah, it's about 15 minutes now. So, yeah, weather's beautiful, everyone's excited. So, yeah. Oh, also, Phil, I'm sorry, but I've eaten one of your meals. Welcome to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Meter Studios, joined by my co-host AJ, all the way from Norway on Skype. AJ?
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, it was better. It was better this than you not be here at all. But do you want to tell us? Why we're doing like a special episode with you on Skype and not in the studio? Chris is sat in your chair now, so.
Because
I've got your shirt. I'm keeping it nice and warm for you, AJ.
Yeah.
I lost the arm wrestling contest versus Chris. He beat me with 3 fingers. So,
so then, obviously there was no episode last week. This was because myself and AJ and Chris were on the first Global Muscle Pro Tour.
Oh.
And what was it like, AJ?
Tell me, Giles, first. How did you enjoy it?
It was an experience I'll never forget. Absolutely.
In what way?
In 100%. It was a huge experience. It was a learning curve. It was an organizational huge task to put together. But I think we learned a lot. I think we got to know Phil Heath a lot better. So did the UK crowds. I've had a lot of good positive feedback, and now I've kind of had a few days to recover from this one. I can't actually wait to do the next one now. So, what do you think?
What do we have for the next one, by the way, guys?
Well, it looks like it's going to be Brandon Curry in October. So, Brandon Curry, would you say he's the favourite for the Olympia?
100%.
Yeah. So, because I think now, AJ, by the time this goes out, I think we'll know that whether Phil Heath is doing the Olympia or not doing the Olympia. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. It's 7 weeks now? It'll be 6 weeks when this show is out.
Yeah, 6-7 weeks. But did you see actually on the tour how he was kind of getting bigger and harder, but he wasn't really eating anything. I mean, I did cardio with him, was it once or twice? And he trained pretty much every day on the tour. But it was very, I think it was, because he said he was going to decide when he got home, didn't he?
Yeah, so that's going to be really soon.
Yeah. So do you want to go straight into the tour, or do you want to talk about what's going on at the Olympia?
What do you want? Chris, I'm not feeling it.
Not feeling it yet. It's going well. Keep it going, buddy.
Keep it going.
I'm not feeling this at all.
Well, no. Make the best of it, AJ.
So what was the most exciting trip? What's the most exciting thing you did at the Phil Heath tour, by the way?
Oh, mate, you're talking about 8-9 day tour here. You're trying to make me draw upon something that was so huge. I mean, it was.
Was the arrival of Phil at the airport, was that like a poignant moment for picking him up and just getting him in the country? Well,
I got there an hour early. This was Newcastle Airport. I went by myself, and then I think he arrived an hour later, so I was there basically 3 hours waiting at the airport when he got there. But considering the fact he'd been flying all through the night, I mean, he was in very good spirits. And we, as soon as we got in the car, he was non-stop talking, and he was great. It was
no signs of jet lag or anything like that.
Nothing like that, Chris. No, nothing. It was very. To be honest, he was like it the whole tour.
Was the adrenaline pumping throughout then?
I think it was. I think he was excited to be over.
Yeah.
I think he was excited to be over.
When did you actually see him for the first time, AJ, when he came over?
He came on a Monday.
Yep.
Then Giles showed the Phil Heath. Remember the post on his Instagram looked like they were on a date? You know,
He's doing that picture, isn't it? Yeah, that was at the airport outside because it was beautiful weather, and yeah, it was. I couldn't believe how kind of happy he was when he arrived, really.
And
but,
what kind of things did you discuss on that at that point? Was it just was it bodybuilding talk? Was it going through the week, the head? What was it like?
It's a long time ago now. No, so all I know is when I picked him up, because it's roughly from Newcastle to where we were, Halifax. It was roughly about a 2.5 hour drive, and it feels like he doesn't stop talking, and I don't stop talking, and I was kind of excited to see him. So yeah.
AJ Giles just said he doesn't stop talking. Well. Good job on a talk show, then, isn't it? Really. So, well, exactly. I've just got another one more question. When you did get him obviously to the country to start this tour,
yeah,
you got him checked into the hotel and things like that.
Yep.
That first night, the realization of what's to come and what's ahead, did that kind of settle in for you? Did it? Did you kind of feel like, oh, I'm about to go on this tour now? It's happening. You know.
To be honest, you're so caught up in the moment because you're so busy thinking about, because I was doing the driving, then I was having to book him into the hotel, I was having to sort his food out, I had to go collect his food that morning from the prep food company to make sure he had everything was waiting in his room. I had to, because we booked him into a really nice hotel. We can say the name now, can't we? It was the Shibden just outside of Halifax.
Okay.
We got him the top suite, 17th century place. He loved it, and I said, this is the best food in the area. So he seemed really, I think he's a very appreciative person. He's very appreciative for the efforts we'd gone to. He always points things out, like on your evening, he pointed a lot of things out, just little details that kind of maybe some other people might have taken for granted. I think, and I like that. I like the fact he's observant. I think it's when he said he was from when his basketball day. He sees what's going on in the room all around him. He'll be talking to you, and he knows exactly what's going on there and there. And I just, it was very interesting being around him, really.
And what was it like for you, AJ? Obviously, you're a huge bodybuilding fan. You have been for a long time. But what was it like for you realising the fact that you're going to go on this 8-day tour with Phil Heath, clearly one of your heroes?
Something came up there. What happened there? I'm not feeling this computer setup, by the way, guys. I'm not feeling it.
It's working our end, man. It's working our end.
Yeah.
I know you don't like it, man. I know you want to be here. Jump
on a plane, otherwise.
We were in a car with Phil Heath.
Yep.
I think we learn. Now we know everything about inside the bodybuilding industry, don't we, Giles?
Yeah, we sure do.
Everything, Chris. Everything. We know what every athlete. We know everything. Well,
again, as a bodybuilding fan, that must have been like quite a big moment for you.
Driving Phil Heath in the car. Then we have the Ronnie Coleman show came up the same week.
That's right, yeah.
Then we have the Brandon Curry tour with the new 2019 Mr. Olympia by then.
I'm Skyping Brandy today to set up the arrangements for all that, get all the dates, and because we've had a few days to recover now, so I'm Skyping her when I get home from this today. That's who I'm going to be talking to. So
I would say probably. Well, I experienced a lot of epic shit in my life, but those 8 days, like it's so. Probably in our top 5, isn't it, Giles, of a life experience?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, that's up there. It's up there. It was one of the most. I would say overall, as an experience, it was pretty incredible. Really, it was pretty incredible. Let's talk about because Chris wants to talk about the kind of right from the start.
Yeah, I want to go through a full rundown of the week.
Yeah,
just to highlight. Obviously, the promoters who ran the shows, but also to highlight the events and any stories that you have surrounding those. I think it'd be interesting for the viewers who obviously couldn't make it on an international level. We had some people travelling from a long way to come and see these seminars. But for those who didn't, let's give them an insight into what went on. And obviously, we had such incredible feedback from what Phil has said and what he's discussed in his seminars, and the motivational talk that he's put on. It's really I think it's really important that we share that. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to sync up some of the footage from the week throughout this podcast, obviously, because I filmed night 1, 2, and 3, and the last one. Plus, we've got footage from all the other places as well. So it'll be worth just going through all those things, and we'll drop the footage in between the podcast. Obviously, with some of the seminar talk and some of the training footage. If you're an audio listener, I'd recommend that you go and watch the video on YouTube for some of that. Most of it will have some dialogue in it, but there will be occasions where it's just training and a little bit of music. So check that out on YouTube as well as iTunes for the audio, guys. AJ, let's fire it up. Go on.
And one thing before you start, for people at home when they watch the video. Nothing was scripted in his speeches. He did it all on the fly, on the go. He had probably around 4 hours of sleep every day. He ate. We had some wonderful prep meals prepped for us, but to be fair, anyway, he didn't eat as he usually eats.
So how did he get bigger on the tour? Do you think it was because he was training all the time? Do you think he was training pretty hard?
And no other bodybuilder in the world, other than maybe Lee Haney, could move the crowd like he did.
Yeah.
What about Giles?
Yeah, no, totally agree. For me, he exceeded all expectations. But I mean, let's go through. So day 1. Was that the Tuesday? Oh my God, so long ago now.
It was Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. In the daytime, we had a private filming session with Jordan Peters, trainedbyjp.com. He was on last episode. JP was a good guest, wasn't he? Got some good views and stuff. Good response.
JP, the only man who speaks more posh than Giles.
So we had a private training at, I forget the name of the facility now, but it was in Manchester because... So they had a 2-hour filming training session. I went up to JP about because I was doing some work on the phone, doing the social media, and about halfway through the training session, I kind of walked over, and also we got to try Phil's new products, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh. Yep. The intra-workout, watermelon, and pink and lemonade.
Of course. But obviously the show is brought to you by High Tech Pharmaceuticals, so we can't go too much into detail about Phil's products. So about halfway through, I went over and I said to JP, I said, how's it going? He says, Giles, he said he's given me absolute gold with the training footage. He's talking in between sets, which has all been filmed and recorded. So he said, even now, he said, I've got more than enough footage from what I wanted to get from this. Is
JP one of the strongest guy trainers in the UK, or?
He's a very powerful guy, yeah, very powerful guy. But
Phil matched him in every set.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, on the one arm. I remember the one arm rows, and he was just playing with it when he fell.
I think one thing we have to realize is that there's one key word that never usually gets used, and that's stamina. You have to have a certain capacity that allows you to do this stuff at a higher level each time. We have to understand what our capacity is and work on that. We did not get here by just going through the motions. We went through them with precision and with good intensity, and then you have fun. Big fucking steps. Everybody wants to be a cameraman until the weights come down.
But so we did that then, and then we got across. I think we got across nice and early to Wigan for Chris's amazing audience with Phil Heath, which was absolutely incredible. We had guys with pump meter shirts and security. We had.
Well, let's name them. We had Paul Thompson and Ace Roscoe Sanchez on security. We had
Mr. Britain on security.
We certainly did. We also had Ticket Girls, Amy H and Amy Mottram. All volunteers, by the way, not paid in any way, shape or form for this task. Very, very helpful indeed. We had 2 photographers and 2 videographers. So I've got to give them a shout out. Martin, Dainty and David Craig, Shane Green and Andrew Giddings.
Shane was there, wasn't he? Of course he was.
Yeah, Shane, who obviously does the production.
Chris too.
Chris too.
I was more impressed by our bodybuilding security.
Yeah, they were good lads. So, so all in all, we had it was something like nine staff on task. The school itself, or the auditorium, is within a school environment, so it's nice big open spaces for the atrium area for the theatre.
It was a beautiful venue.
It's a great venue.
Phil was very impressed.
It was a great venue
because he walked in because we pulled up outside. We parked right in the the right outside at the front.
You have to drive through the projects to get to it, though, don't you?
Yeah, you have to drive through the projects. Yeah, through the Bronx. Yeah. But he was like, he kind of didn't know what to, because this was our first one, so because originally you wanted it on the final on the weekend nights, didn't we? And then that kind of got filled, and I said, and then we actually switched it to the first night. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm really happy how it worked out.
Yeah, I wasn't keen on the idea of starting it off because I was shitting myself.
Yeah, but
I think it worked, and it worked well. It played out well. Probably the best case scenario.
Yeah.
But yeah, the venue, it's a brand new £20 million building.
Dean Trust.
The Dean Trust here in Wigan. It's not too far away from the studio. It had great theatre facilities, great AV facilities, so we could use the screen, we could use the speakers, we could use the microphones, great lighting, tiered seating as well, so everybody could see him. And to have that breakout space as well, which is a place where once the theatre has...
Oh, you mean the atrium?
Yeah, the atrium,
the
breakout space after the actual event, where people could go and see see Phil signing the autographs, having pictures taken, that kind of thing. You and AJ, clearly enjoying yourselves and networking on the night there as well. Some incredible contributions as well, because I needed sponsorship to make this work, to get the venue and things. So Chemical Warfare, thanks very much to you guys. We had the Health Hut Wigan, who had delivered some food, and they had a stall there as well. Did you sample some of that food, guys?
I had the Thai green curry. It was amazing.
Thai green curry. Did you have some food on that night?
Yeah, some of the chick beef.
Yeah. I
meat. AJ likes meat.
I couldn't eat because I was so nervous. But then we also had a sponsor from Powers On Gym Equipment as well. So the three of them clubbed together to help me put on the event, as well as some volunteers. I can't thank those guys enough for the help and contributions that they gave to me to make that night the success that it was.
Phil liked the little touches where you did the you got those print-offs with so he could sign them, because Phil said before the trip...
Do you want to say that again? Phil likes those little touches.
No, because he when we Skyped, the final Skype before he came over, and he says he wasn't. We didn't make a decision on bringing any signed pictures over.
Yeah.
So when he came over and he says, no, I didn't bring any, because his clothing was shipped over to his friend Anthony down in the Midlands. So that was brought up by him. And so he didn't know. So when you had those, it was really good, because everyone wants something they can take away from a night like that.
I literally decided to do that 48 hours before.
That was a great idea.
I just didn't know what people might want to take away from the event. I've never been to a seminar before. I've never been to a seminar and never run an event.
You did a great job.
So thanks for that. To put something on to that extent, I suppose. I was shitting myself, yes, but at the same time, I didn't know what to expect. I'm just so pleased with the turnout. I mean, the crowd was fantastic, wasn't it, AJ?
Place was full. AJ, what was your favourite part of that night? Do you want me to say mine?
Probably the intro.
Yeah, same here. Because that intro, man, because you got a special voiceover woman, didn't you, to do it?
Yeah.
And it was, we played it on, it was episode 26 or something. You put the mic to the computer over there. That for me that gave me shivers.
Well, I tell you what, whilst that's in your mind, I'm going to play that now on the podcast. That's the first thing I'm going to play, and then we'll come back to this conversation. But carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dean Trust Theatre. The show is about to begin. Please turn off your mobile devices. We would appreciate it if you could remain in the theatre until the interval. Now we have someone very special, just for you. He has travelled 4,500 miles to be here. Together with Global Muscle Pro Tours, he will be visiting gyms all over the UK for the next 8 days. But tonight, here in Wigan, Pumped Media proudly presents one of the most important and influential bodybuilders of our time. Please welcome, for this unique and important event, 7 times Mr. Olympia, Mr. Phil Heath.
Welcome. This is by far the coolest appearance I've done in quite some time.
I've actually got footage on my phone where me, AJ, and Phil were out by the lockers. We had our headsets on, you know, our call centers, call center headsets on, and Phil started banging the lockers because you could see we were all getting pumped up because we were out by the door because we couldn't be seen.
You've got footage of that?
I've got footage on my phone.
Send it to me. We'll put it on the podcast.
Do you want me to put it in?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send it to you after.
Send me everything.
But that was the bit. That was when I was like, because me and AJ couldn't look at each other because I was like that, and we were kind of like grinning like school kids. I was like, this is very fun. This is so fucking cool.
Is that when the music was going?
Yeah.
We were like. I noticed Phil was filming the whole thing on his Instagram stories as well, wasn't he? Through the screen and that. So, were you came in after Phil, didn't you? Obviously, there was a huge applause, and you came and sat up the top near me, didn't you?
We did at the back, yeah.
So after that intro, obviously Phil then spoke for a considerable amount of time. And I suppose both of you didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. The crowd didn't know what to expect. But I think it was about 40 minutes. We're going to put some of that in this episode.
You could hear a pin drop.
People were sat there with their mouths wide open, AJ. It was just... What did you think of that intro that he delivered?
To be fair, I think the best part of that night wasn't the intro. It was the people's reaction later on social media and in the arena. Some people drew all the way from...
Cornwall.
There
was a couple that drove up from Cornwall. Can you remember their names?
No, but I'll find them and put them up.
Yeah, that's literally the south coast, and we're in the northwest. So they drove, I think, 6 hours, and then after the seminar, had to drive back because the lady had to be at work for I think 7-8 o'clock.
Oh, right, okay.
And she was messaging me, DMing me, saying about how amazing it was because she literally had to drive back and go straight to work. And
that's dedication.
Yeah, but they said they were so glad they came, and I mean there was that Liverpool lady who was just like almost in tears on the Instagram DMs and just going, "Oh my god, that was great! That was so great! He's blown me mind."
So, girl looked like she had an orgasm, man.
Well, I think in fairness, AJ, we all did that night, mate.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. Come on.
Okay. What went on in the green room stays in the green room, guys. Stays in the green room.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was from all accounts, from the perspective of my audience, obviously because that's who I'm appealing to come and get tickets to watch this event.
Yeah.
My audience, every single one of them came back feeling enlightened, feeling motivated, feeling really, really happy about that. So putting it all together and making it work was a success in itself. But it's not just that. It's what people's response is to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing that I think you and me and you, AJ, wanted people to see was that type of engagement from Phil. He's been on the podcast before several times, and he's always been that kind of motivational type of speaker, hasn't he?
But the thing is, Chris, I don't think anyone's done that kind of seminar before. So So imagine if we'd have started off the tour and it hadn't have worked, and Phil would have just gone, well, I'm used to a certain type of Q&A. I'm used to just getting my kit off. You know, it wasn't. It was about dialogue. It was about honesty. It was about. I mean, he really. I mean, like I said, there was points where you literally. I was looking at, and people were just complete. You could hear a pin drop in that theatre, and it was like I was thinking, there's no one in the industry that could do this. And
then, where we invite you and AJ down to the chairs.
I so wanted not to trip.
I know. I was worried about going down those steps.
Yeah.
But you guys went down. And Phil was, if you remember, he was laughing at the fact that I'd given him 2 seats.
Yes.
One for each butt cheek.
Thank you. Nobody clapped, but that's okay.
Well, it was,
Would you like a seat, Phil? Can you hear me okay?
Now this is messed up. I come in here because I wanted to get a good look as to how this venue would be. It's always smart to do that, right? So there's no surprises. They're like, oh, we're gonna get you couches, Phil. Okay? Sorry. So they think they're trying to call me fat. And they gave me one chair per ass cheek. Let's see how this works. Okay, not bad.
Good. You're not gonna fall. You're not gonna fall.
Not good. Well, no, man, I'm not that big.
Do you remember?
Every ass cheek.
Well, I gave AJ 3, but
Okay. I think Phil's studies. He said he studies stand-up comedy
okay.
because he studies motivational speaking. You're right, AJ? I thought you were doing the old. I thought you were doing Dr. Evil, and he said, and I think because there was elements of all of that in there. So yeah, sorry.
So you guys go down there, AJ. You're in the spotlight for the first time in front of a crowd, I guess, for both of you, maybe.
Yeah.
Have you done that sort of thing before?
Only in court. Where does?
So let's say there's the judge.
I'm guilty. I'm not guilty.
Speeding fines only.
Yeah. But AJ, tell me about that experience. You're sat down there with Giles and 7-time Mr. Olympia in the spotlight with an audience in front of you. How are you feeling?
I go backstage. I say, Giles, what are we going to talk about? And he says, well, I don't know. And then, I said, what do you mean you don't know? Haven't you planned this? He said, no. I go back to Giles again. I said, what are we going to talk about? Well, I've just been briefed by Chris. Talk to him. This is like 4 minutes before the show. I was like, wow, okay, what are we going to do?
AJ, our best intros are when we don't plan them at all for this show. So I wanted to do something that was the three of us, because, I mean, at the end of the day, the three of us in that car, what about that journey from Cumbria to South Wales? That was a 6-7 hour drive. I don't think we took a breath. We didn't stop talking the whole way. So I knew we would never struggle for conversation.
But yeah, going back down to that point where you're down in front of the spotlight for the first time, in front of a crowd, the first night, it's all coming together. How did it feel? And what was said?
All I was thinking, I said, I forgot my gold shoes. I should have had my gold shoes on. That was my moment.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well, mate. Where's your gold shoes?
To be honest, I don't have such a high... what can I say? I'm not an egomaniac, meaning the whole tour, the only ego is that Giles and I could do it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But when I was there, I didn't really feel like they were there for me. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? And with Phil, it was just, he was so professional with his speaking and talking. I wasn't stressed at all, really.
Yeah.
Because I need something to challenge me to get that extra badge, to get to that higher level. Not to rub it in someone's face, but just to live life, to know what I'm truly made of. And it doesn't mean that I won't fail. It just means I gave a shit about my success, about my life. Because it sucks being average. I mean, but sometimes we get into that average mode. We get tired. We go back to capacity, that stamina, reevaluating, looking in the mirror, asking that mirror, you look like shit today, man. We got to figure this out. And then you realize that this journey called life is how you get back home from the moon. I'll be 40 at the end of the year, and I think I think I will live pretty long. I hope so. There's a lot of shit I want to do. I want to see the iPhone 100 or something. I want to see all this cool shit, you know.
He put us at ease, didn't he? Because like, the thing is, it wasn't like say when we have him on the show where it's just us two interacting with him. There was an audience of people that he needed to interact with. So we kind of sat back, didn't we? And we kind of just, if he looked to us, to gesture to us, to kind of, bring us into something, to get an opinion on something. But the rest of the time, I just thought, say nothing and just let him talk, because when he goes, he goes. And when he's in flow, I mean, I remember on one of the seminars, I I think either we coughed or something like that, and he kind of just looked as if to say, "Don't interrupt me while I'm in my flow," because when he's on that, his brain is working because he's such an intelligent guy. It's like you just don't want to even like breathe because it's so interesting what he's saying. So that was my perspective anyway for the audience with.
Thank you guys so much. This is a great kickoff to the Global Muscle Radio Tour. Like I said before, when we decided to do this, we really didn't have any expectations other than just entertaining you guys and getting to know you all. And I just hope that I was able to give you a piece of me to take back with you, whether it be a joke or something serious. Hopefully it's more of the serious side to make you think about what you want in life, how you are going to go get it. You have to go get it. I really am thankful for this opportunity to be Phil Heath in front of you. And I really will take tonight back home to Denver, Colorado. When I decided to go in my office, when I decided to go in that gym, maybe on the body go to the stage, but whatever I do is these interactions that when things go shitty for me, I do call. Because sometimes it does take a village to make things happen. So thank you so much.
But I was just so happy that everyone came.
Just getting to the end of the night now. So you've finished, you've wrapped up, you've said your goodbyes, and you're back in the car. So I don't know what your drive was like for yourself on the way home, but obviously I've just put this night together, and I went home feeling elated, and I couldn't get off my phone looking at people's feedback because I need that kind of validation from them. But to see that validation come through from them, it was amazing. But you guys must have been the same. You must have been so pleased and excited that the whole thing has started. You've done your first night. It's over and done with. Next, on to the next.
I had no expectations, so because otherwise you start getting nervous then. I just thought we've just got to go there, do the best job we can, because there's so many different variables. There's so many different things with times and everything that you got to kind of. You can only take one day at a time. So we just kind of left, and we were just kind of buzzing, weren't we, AJ?
Yeah.
We were just buzzing. We were just so happy that it went well, because that was the first time we'd really heard Phil speak.
Yeah.
So we were like feeling very confident for the rest of the tour.
So you set yourself up for a good week ahead, essentially.
I'm so glad we had yours first, though, because
I'm glad.
That couldn't have been a better start to the tour.
Woohoo!
Yay!
We'll do it again, eh? We'll do it again.
How did that go? Fantastic.
Delaney,
Oh,
what do you think?
I think it went pretty well.
very good. So I'm chewing gum because my mouth's very dry of all the talking on stage. You know? And you notice I didn't crack too many jokes. Good. I thought, what do you mean good? That's a bad thing. We've got video guys, we've got 3 camera guys, we've got security guys.
And finally some proper security, not pussy boy security.
Not pussy boy security. Yeah, there they are. Hans and Franz.
Now give it from that.
I got it. Oh.
Yep.
So thanks for that. On to the next night, and then let's move through the week. So the next night, up at Ian Chambers, what's the location? What was it?
Cumbria, Whitehaven. Yeah.
Whitehaven, to a crowd. Again, people travelling around from all over. You had people coming from Scotland to that, from all over the northwest of England and the north, and a couple from the northeast. You had some friends there as well, didn't you? Do you have any friends there?
I don't have any friends there.
Oh, of course you do. Well, there was AJ. There was AJ.
Just AJ.
Just AJ.
No, I mean, I think I know everyone around the country. So yes, of course, there was Carlos Citrone, John Citrone's
there you
son.
go, John Citrone's
Sean
son.
Joseph Tavernier.
Yeah.
He was there, the 212. Sorry, not 212. He used to be a 202. Now he competes in different federations. He was there looking big as a house.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson from NABA.
See, he does have some friends, AJ.
Sorry.
He just forgets about them. Yeah. Just forgets them.
Do you know what? This sounds like a contradiction. Now, the drive over was much further and much kind of more arduous than I thought. But that drive over, for me, was one of the highlights of the tour.
Really?
When the sheep. We drove over because the sat nav sent us all over this thing, and it's like literally these very, very kind of windy roads. You know, if a car comes, you have to stop and then reverse. And
do you have sheep in Norway, AJ?
Well, hang on. AJ calls them donkeys.
Donkeys.
Donkeys!
Donkeys! I mean, honestly, I think I nearly drove off the road twice, off a cliff, because I was laughing so much because they were Phil kept winding the window down and filming the sheep, because there's these sheep literally sat on the road, just chewing grass, just sat there. And I just think they won't move. They just move. So you have to drive around them. So AJ pulled the phone out and he says, he starts shouting. He says, "Hey, donkeys!" I'm like, AJ, there's not donkeys. They are sheep.
There we go.
So that was hilarious. And that drive, we stopped off at the services and we just had we just ate everything, I think, in sight. And
we had we ate a lot of watermelon. You know, Kai Green, Phil Heath. And he also showed if Phil Heath competes or not. Yeah. That remains to be seen. But we saw his posing music.
Oh yes,
tell me about that. Tell me about that.
That's giving me shivers just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Tell me. What,
come on, AJ.
How did this happen? Tell me, AJ.
Somebody will steal the routine. It's so good music.
Well, he connected the phone because I think he wanted to get some charge into my thing, and then it came on the speakers, and we're like, what was the music? Because it was the same. It was. I don't want to say.
No, don't say.
No, I won't say. I can't remember actually. It was the same, but it was like, what is this music? And he played 3 or 4 different tracks. Yeah, and he listened to the lyrics, and the lyrics gave me shivers. And then he cranked up and I remember just driving through the Cumbrian hillsides and stuff. And I just remember getting this feeling of like just visualizing him on stage, walking out, doing his champ walk. And me and AJ were just like. We were like eyes are rolling into our head, like it was just...
I sat in the backside, so I got an erection.
I was sat in the front. I got one.
I've got one now.
It was I've always got one. It was a bonding experience. I'll never forget.
Wow.
But no, it was all jokes aside. It was like, and he turned it up, and we and AJ went to take a photo or something. He says, "No, don't put it anywhere," and stuff like that. But it was very good music, and I just hope he gets on stage with that music because that's going to send the crowds absolutely crazy, won't it, AJ?
And we can't snitch, but we just learned there's going to be an epic new show in the IFBB Pro League soon.
Oh yeah. I don't think we're allowed to say yet, AJ.
We're not allowed to say yet, mate. Not allowed to say. Controversial. Wrestling class.
Yes,
wrestling class.
That's a little bit of a clue, but I think we're not allowed to say anymore. So I think so we'll leave that one, AJ.
Moving on.
Yeah. So anyway, yes. Sorry, go on.
So yeah, the Whitehaven turnout was great. It was nice to see all the guys up there and travelling so far to put that on. And he also signed a stand-up poster, a picture of himself, which will no doubt go into Ian Chambers' Powerhouse.
And you know what? That was also the longest seminar he did. He did nearly 3 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Nearly 3 hours. Because I was thinking we should have finished 45 minutes ago. Yeah. He was still going, but when you're on a roll like that, and because he said when he feels a connection with an audience, it's like he kind of gets immersed in it. So it
was very intimate as a venue. People got to see him close up. People got to meet him and greet him and shake his hand and talk to him and things like that. So
thank you, and I'll stand up. So really, truly, thank you for allowing me to come here and to share not just my story, but my mindset, and to be allowing me to be vulnerable in front of a bunch of strangers. It's not something that I get the pleasure of doing very often, but I love it. And I truly hope that each and every one of you have been able to grasp maybe one thing and make it your own. And to remind yourself that you're not alone when you're fighting for your own personal greatness, when you're striving and starving for your own personal greatness, when you're told that you can't, when you're reminded through the noise that's outside, or even in your own inner circle, oh, you can't, or you can't be the actor that you want, you can't be the husband that you want, you can never be the father that you want, you can't be the wife. You don't have to listen to them. You can hear them, but you don't have to listen to them, and you don't have to internalize that. You don't have to make it all about proving them wrong. Because if you know who you are and you spend enough time with yourself, you'll be too busy trying to prove yourself right. Please, prove yourself right, honor yourself in this life, and be the director, producer, and actor in your life. All right? Thank you. hey man, Bruce Lee was walking around like, I know I could mess you up. And then like, but you know what I'm saying? You ever watch them old movies? And he want to be happy. They'll be stylish.
Chris there from Punk Media, providing all the epic coverage for Global Muscle Radio. Boom! That's all he said, boom. That's all he said.
Big bada boom!
Boom! That's the only word he can say.
The car, you know, like the cool stuff. They're all broke.
Big Philip.
They really are.
Philip's little brother. Mini Phil.
Like until it falls apart. Because it was the first car I ever got that I didn't need help from like.
How was that, Joe? Did you enjoy it?
Excellent, mate. Excellent.
Love what you had to say.
So it was like a meaningful thing, and it was the first car I ever paid off completely. So I'm gonna keep it for as long as I can.
Oh God.
So, and then I have my.
Anything more to say from that experience, AJ?
Next day.
Next day. Okay, where are we at?
Wales.
Wales, Pontypridd.
That was. Do you know what? I know I'm going to say this now.
More sheep.
I'm allowed to be biased with this one.
Okay.
This was one of my favourites. Why do you think?
Hometown, Welsh, all those kinds of things.
Sorry, I've got to put it out there. I've got to be honest.
You're a Welsh boy.
This was like crazy levels of excitement. Now the thing about this one is the drive from Cumbria to South Wales. I think it was 6 or 7 hours.
It was long. It was long.
It was like, now obviously the weather was hot. We had the aircon full blast. The music was playing, and AJ, we didn't stop talking and laughing and joking the whole way, did we?
It was great. It was great. Fantastic day.
I mean, how many?
Bridge. Yeah. The bridge. What is the bridge called again to Wales?
Oh, the Severn Bridge. Yeah, because Phil was filming it and he speeds it up and he put some music to it and then he put it on his Instagram. But yeah, the Severn Bridge. I said it's the longest suspension bridge in the world, or one of them, or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, one of them or something. So I was very excited because we actually drove past my town of Monmouth, where and I was just like, shit, I got Phil Heath in the car and AJ's in the back, and we're just chilling, and it was really good because the organizer of that one, Ali Un, really, I've known Ali like 25 years. I was really thrilled that he was one of the ones that came forward. You know, like someone you've got a real, like Simon Fan from Birmingham, someone you've got real history built with, and he was. I was very excited to go to this.
Well, he'd put a lot on for the actual event. Obviously, the venue upstairs, which was well presented.
Yes.
All microphoned up. A nice big open space. It was very hot in that room, so the fans were on.
Yeah.
It gave you a nice little chill out area to get changed and get ready for training and things like that. And is that the first time you guys had trained with Phil?
Yes.
And we filmed that, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I got told not to film too much of AJ, though. Is that right?
Who said that?
AJ.
Oh, did he?
Don't film me.
Why?
Don't film me.
Oh, come on, AJ. Stop being a tart.
So, guys, imagine you're at home in Oslo trolling around, watching Phil Heath DVDs and videos, and all of a sudden, you're in the gym, and you're doing more of triceps than him. Oh, what a day!
Thing is, AJ, it was like a couple of times I was doing like push downs, and then I heard this voice going, "Come on, 2 more, 1 more." And honestly, the first time it completely went over my head because I just thought, "Oh, I'm just training with someone." And then the second time I actually twisted my head and realized, and there was Phil. He stood there, you know. It was so cool, very, very cool.
And Giles had the most epic arm picture of all time during.
That's such a white guy thing to say, isn't it? Angling or something, isn't it?
Angling.
Yeah.
You got photobombed by Phil, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's obviously we did get we would do this for free if you know what I mean? Like the experience we had. Imagine you training with how many people would love to train with Phil Heath, you know, and we did it. But imagine how many haters are we gonna get now who are Phil Heath haters, Giles? They're gonna say, "Whoa, you know Phil Heath haters? Oof. They're not gonna enjoy this episode, Giles."
You know, I think the fact that we got to train them just at least once. I don't think anyone's going to begrudge us that.
And it was a good training session. You trained arms as well, didn't you? So not many people in the world can say that.
Yeah.
Fair play.
It was good.
In that same room, a little after the training session, there was a grand reveal. AJ, can you tell me about that moment, please?
Oh, who made it? Do we know the person's name?
We'll pull him up on Facebook.
Can I just quickly interject because the booking was only secured I think 4 weeks before because we only came up with the idea like 6 weeks before the tour. We didn't have a lot of time, so as soon as I spoke to Ali Un, from Pacific Fitness in Pontypridd, where we had the seminar. He said, Giles, he said, we've got like murals of all the big names, Kai Green, Flax Lewis, Pride of Wales. He says, I'm going to get one done. So about 2 weeks after, he sent me like an outline. It was like the outline of this, the Phil Heath picture. And I didn't realize in the picture, you can't see how big it is.
Scale.
You can't see how big it is. It looks maybe like as tall as you.
Short.
3'6".
Midget size.
3'6". But when we got in there, I saw the sheets, and because Ali, before we went in train, he said he kind of took me off private. And he said, Giles, behind here is the mural. I went, it's massive.
Oh man, you got All right.
Not surprised we've had Phil in store for the last few weeks.
Working hard.
Oh my God.
To get him together, nights to get this. This is flat out Welsh style.
Holy
top to
smokes.
bottom. Top to bottom.
Top to bottom, huh?
Come on, then.
Whoa!
Well, I wasn't expecting that.
No. You think? Holy smokes. Well, it is me.
Yeah, definitely you, Phil.
20 feet tall.
I want that in my room.
And you're the artist? Hey, what's your name? Tom, thank you so much, man. Thank you. Now, this is,
Got some sheets for you to sign because we're going to put the plaque on the wall.
okay. Yeah.
On a bench or like?
Awesome, man.
So that's going to go next to the picture.
That is, man, thank you. Wow. I honestly am just so excited. I am at a loss for words, and usually I'm talking all the damn time. But, I never thought that when I got into bodybuilding that I would have something like this. So obviously I didn't know I'd have the body. But to have it appreciated, in front of plenty of people that walk through the doors of this gym, I mean, it's just amazing over at Pacific Fitness. So I just want to say thank you. No, thank you so much. Thank you. That's sick, man. That's just awesome, man. And it's like my favorite pose too, so it's like good. Yeah, for sure. How long have you been doing this?
It's been 10 years now, yeah. So
awesome, man.
This is by far the best painting I've ever done.
No, thank you so much.
It was nice to get a big wall to paint.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. AJ, what did you think about that moment when it got revealed, mate? What did you think?
Oh, it's like I ordered it myself. It was the hands-on wrist, most muscular pose, the black and white one, the most famous picture.
Phil got emotional, didn't he, when he saw it? He genuinely, like, you could see he was choked.
Yeah.
And then he got me going then. And thing is, this was all filmed, because I sent the video to him on his Instagram, and he put it up on his main page on his Instagram, 3.5 million followers. So nice little promo for the gym as well. Nice little thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously after the training session, he then did the third seminar upstairs in the large open workout space.
Pacific Fitness. I've got to introduce.
Just trained with Heath for the first time, so I'm sweating like a mother F. Well, we got pump today.
Trained arms with a 7-time champ. That was a bit of a cool experience. That's one off the bucket list. So yeah, very
Giles
happy.
did some side triceps.
I'm wearing a suit. It's 100 degrees in there, but style over comfort, baby. Style over comfort. Okay, big round of applause, please, for Phil Heath.
Hey, first of all, I just want to say thank you for coming. I've been able to do these appearances for quite some time, since I turned pro in 2005. When I arrived, I was just amazed by how many bodybuilding fans there were. How many people, both men and women, train. And they train with passion and precision. It wasn't for anything but just them going after their own personal greatness. Lost 20 pounds and ended up placing fifth. One of the things I realized about that particular show was I had a defining moment, and you think, well, a defining moment during a loss, you just placed third in the world. Well, sometimes life happens, right? Sometimes as much as we think we have control of something, especially when things are going great, you know, life throws something bad at you. But what matters to me the most is how do I allow that tragic moment or that disappointment teach me a valuable lesson in life, not just bodybuilding. So I told them, I said, I'm just too damn stubborn. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, I'm in here training so that in 2010, if God himself says, no, Phil, you're not ready, he's going to realize, well, I got to give it to him because he's too freaking stubborn. I got to just let him do him. And they just looked at me and said, no, I forget it. That really helped me realize that my mental capacity was better than where it was the previous night, the previous month, and the previous year.
And again, I think that was very, very well received by everybody who listened. And you know, the crowd was very, very engaged with what he had to say. And he did the Q&A really well. Again, you guys were there with him, and didn't need to actually say much because he's such a good speaker. You know what I mean? He's managed to put everything across, and it wasn't like it was the same. Because I'd been to 2, obviously, seminars before. It wasn't the same stories being repeated. It was a lot of different things being said there.
Where's AJ gone?
AJ, come back to us, man.
AJ, come back to us. And also, AJ did something that I had no idea about.
AJ did something. What did he do, AJ?
He took something out of his inside jacket pocket. AJ whips out a tape measure. And we measured Phil Heath's arms and forearm. AJ, what did they measure, mate?
They got to watch this video to see the results.
That's a very good point. I'll put it on the podcast so you can watch it, guys.
Thank you.
In fact, it'll be coming up right now. There we go.
Yes, there you go. And there it was.
Was that preempted? Was that an idea that you had beforehand, AJ? Or did you discuss it with Phil?
Where did you get the tape measure from?
From Oslo. I brought it with me. I always wanted to know.
You're so sneaky. I had no idea. I thought you just got it from Ali or something.
You got to know what No, I want to know. So we have it in facts.
Yes.
We got to see this. But he's not on any supplements, and he's not been sleeping, and he hasn't been training. So if he will be on all that, it will be even bigger.
Yes, true. That's a very good. That's a very good point.
So, a huge shout out to Pacific Fitness. Down there, guys.
And we also went over the next morning because we just wanted to say goodbye.
Yeah.
So we popped in. We actually got picked up some of the food, and we had a bit of coffee and stuff, and saw Ali's dogs, beautiful dogs. He's got a pit bull.
You went out for some nice food that night as well. I saw that. Wow, that looked amazing.
We went into Cardiff because Cardiff's about 20-25 minutes away. So he drove us into Cardiff and we went to this because Ali's Persian.
Okay.
Is he? Where's Ali from? Is it Iran?
Don't make the same mistake.
Sorry. So terrible. I'm so terrible.
You said Iran and he got upset, or did you say something else?
Sorry, Ali. Middle Eastern, I said.
So which countries is in the Middle East, Giles? Iran?
Moving on. Anyway, let's talk about the food.
Yeah, let's talk about the food.
let's talk about the Persian food. So we had this platter, and it was literally that big, and it was fantastic. It was. I think we wish we could have stayed a bit longer that dinner because we got there late. They were open. We didn't even get there till about 10:30, 11 o'clock.
It must have been late, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, by the time because you can't be in. I think I kicked AJ out of my room at 2:30 because we were going over the next day, and I was literally like, I think I got a bit stroppy with AJ. I said, AJ, I need some sleep, please.
Was Giles stroppy with you the following day, AJ?
Giles was what?
Stroppy?
He doesn't know what that means.
Moody?
No, not really. No.
He's all good?
I just needed to get more than 3 hours sleep that night because I had about another 6 hours driving to do the next day.
And the reason why we didn't get more sleep is our fault because when we were finished, we didn't go to bed. We kept on talking with Phil for hours and hours in the hotel.
Plus, we always wanted to plan the next day, didn't we? We wanted to talk about what happened that day, how we can make the next day better. But sometimes, literally when you're nodding off, you've just got to say, guys, we just need to pull the plug and go to bed and get some sleep. Otherwise, we're going to be no use for the next one tomorrow because it's You know, because as soon as that one's done, you're literally posting the edited videos for the promo videos for the next one, and you know, so it's very fast paced, but it was a lot of fun.
So tell me, I didn't go to the next one. Where were you?
Oh, Muscleworks in Orpington.
Muscleworks in Orpington.
Run by John Thurston, great guy, really great guy. He's just had Mila Sargev, and I think he's got Dorian there this weekend.
Right, okay. Cool.
So we can go a little bit fast, we don't have any footage from that one, but do we?
I think there's something posted online, is there?
Yeah, we've got a little promo video which we can insert.
Yeah, we'll try and get that one up.
What I'm going to share with you is some short stories, personal triumph, struggle, and some overall badassery, which got me here today. October 8th, 2002, I decided to become a bodybuilder. Didn't really know what the hell I was doing, but I did know one major thing, that I wanted to look better and feel amazing. The joy that I had winning my first amateur show, I mean, you really felt invincible. But bodybuilding allowed me to take myself to a higher level. Stop getting bitter, get better. I share that story because as you're presented an opportunity to win, life can happen. Life comes in the way, it shakes you up a little bit, and then you have some choices, some decisions you have to make. I'm going to win this show one day, but it's not going to be if, it's going to be when, and it's going to be how many. That was my mindset. I'm that guy that will go through and run through brick walls to go get what I want in life. And I'm not afraid to be ridiculed. I'm not afraid to be told no.
Yep.
Luke Sandow was in the building.
Yeah.
Phil Heath looked at Luke Sandow. Great seminar. Great food. Great gym job.
Yeah, lovely. They had a prep food company, like a kitchen in the place. And
I saw that. Was that is it the one with the tables that were? Is that the one? Yeah. Really nice laid out tables.
He says they do about 3,000 meals a week.
Wow.
From that company. Yeah. Fantastic gym as well. Fantastic. Wow. Great equipment. Really hardcore. Really good following. There was a good atmosphere in that gym, wasn't there, AJ?
And Josh is very fussy about training. He needs it. He must have his. If he doesn't like the bed, I'm waiting for him for 10 minutes. And then when he can't, no, I don't like this machine. Let's go to the other one.
I've just got to talk about two things that have just come to mind.
We train shoulders together.
Firstly, what do you think, AJ, of Giles's regular attire that he's wearing now compared to his training attire?
I prefer his regular attire.
His regular attire.
Because I do look like a bit of a tramp.
I've never seen you look anything less than what you are right now, mate.
Okay.
And seeing you in that club, it was like a different person.
Because it is. I'm in tiger mode.
Tiger mode.
Oh, I mean, hobo tiger mode.
The second thing is just going back to the previous night at Pacific Fitness.
Yes.
Do you remember it was around about 3/4 of the way into the seminar, and there was a loud crash.
Oh yeah.
And the guy's seat collapsed at the very back. Poor bloke. But Phil just didn't carry on. He made sure he was okay, wasn't he? Because he could have hurt himself.
Was that the guy that said No, this was a different guy. That when he said he went to he goes regularly to motivational speakers, and Phil was by far the best. He goes to professional motivational speakers, but he said Phil blew him away. But that wasn't the same guy as a guy who fell off his chair, was it?
No, I don't think so. I had two motivational speakers come to mind. So nothing to do with bodybuilding.
Okay.
Two motivational speakers and one guy who does do motivational speaking and is a bodybuilder. And they all said how good it was as an event, and how good Phil was as a speaker. So kudos to him.
Nice.
Going back to the Orpington.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what to say. It was another great seminar. He connected with everyone. I think there was the people said that was the best seminar. I think that and the Tom Platz one they said was the best seminar they'd had at that gym.
So they've had regular ones there before.
Yeah. Because this John Thurston, he's a big bodybuilding fan. He was telling about all his other companies. He's got like scrap metal companies, and he's a bit of an entrepreneur. That gym was like there's so much money's worth of equipment in there. It was fantastic.
And at this, sorry, AJ, go on.
Milos Sakrev is there right now, having a seminar.
Last weekend, and I think they got Dorian there this weekend.
Yeah, Dorian Yates is coming there to train with Luke, I think.
Yeah. And obviously, Luke trains there regularly. My friend Sarah Harley, the wellness competitor, she trains there. But it's a gym definitely I'd love to go back to. And it's if we do any future seminars, I'd love to take Brandon Curry there as well.
Jim and John Thurston, along with this amazing staff here at Muscleworks, have treated me so well. The team and I, AJ and Giles, we had an amazing time here with the people. But also, I was able to train, and I was able to hit little bit of legs before I had my seminar and meet and greet. But one thing I will make sure to tell you guys is that when you're in the UK, you have to come here because the environment is exactly what a 7-time Mr. Olympia approves of. So be sure to go to MuscleWorks, tell them 7-time Mr. Olympia sent you, and who knows, maybe we'll see you at a gym near you. Thank you.
At this point, AJ, you're in the midst of the UK bodybuilding scene. You've been to 4 different venues with 4 different crowds from the UK bodybuilding fan base. How are you finding connecting with those guys whilst you're over here? Obviously, because you come and do the podcast, but you don't go to these gyms around the country on a regular basis. In fact, I don't think you've done it before. How did you find the interaction with the crowd, from your point of view?
I want to talk about that in a month.
Okay. All right.
What?
I got some news, but I don't want to tell it now.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Well, was it a pleasant experience being involved with guys over here in the UK? Yes or no?
From 1 to 10, it's at 11.
Yay!
Yeah. So
next venue.
The next day that was across to Birmingham. Now we had a beautiful hotel, didn't we? Courtesy of Simon Fan. That was very, very kind of him.
Has Simon got married recently?
He's getting married this weekend.
No, it was last weekend because I've seen pictures on Instagram.
Last weekend then? I was invited. Shit. Sorry.
You were joking.
No, I was invited.
What?
I was invited to the do.
Oh,
sorry.
No.
I've been sleeping for about 5 days straight.
Oh no.
But yeah. So
congratulations, Si.
Yeah, congratulations, Simon and Mrs. Fan.
The cards in the post.
Yes. Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. So we got to Birmingham. Simon's another one I've been friends with for 25 years. I've known him since 1994 when I used to follow his articles. He owns the Ultimate Fitness 2 in Birmingham, which is actually, I think, one of the best bodybuilding gyms in the country. Absolutely amazing. Because I went down by myself last year when he had Jay Cutler there. Yeah. And also when we went to we did an interview for another outlet with Rosie. I've been to his gym a few times and it's a fantastic gym, great atmosphere. Same crowd, Dean Lesiak, Randeep, Lee Atlas, Lee Harding, the videographer and tall class Mr. Britain, really good guy. So I always love going back there because there's always such a good, positive atmosphere. They all love their bodybuilding. And it was really... AJ, do you want to tell us how we were collected? How Phil was... Sorry, not we. Phil was collected from the hotel?
Was it a Bentley or...
It was a Rolls Royce, mate. It was a Rolls Royce.
It was a beautiful Rolls Royce. Josh was really feeling it.
Squished in the back between Phil and AJ.
Simon Fan has really brought up the big guns for Phil Heath. Phil, you happy?
Of course.
Giles, this is the car we should get for our next tour because that car Giles has.
Just pulling up in the roller to Ultimate Fitness 2, day 5 of the Globe Muscle Pro Tour with Phil Heath, Giles and AJ. What's this, Simon? Oh, hold it open.
The man, the myth.
That is beautiful.
Mr. Olympia.
It looks like you.
Are you going to show Phil? I want to see what Phil thinks. Hey. Look at that.
I'd scare that guy.
Beautiful.
I'm afraid of that guy. Okay, got to lay it down.
Beautiful.
What
are you laughing at, bitch?
Hey, we're all champions in our own mind, you know. In our own mind, we're all.
I'm a legend of my own lunchtime. Shoving me again.
Yeah, sorry.
Cracking. Love it.
Everything is what I want.
Look at that. Nice. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Appreciate the love.
Make things like I gotta make sure.
Nice. Thank you. That was not much fun.
Great transportation, great hotel, beautiful. Remember the dinner? Where was the place?
Oh, that was Marco Pierre White's. Yeah, up on the top 24th floor. That was amazing.
Food could have been even better, but the scenery was epic.
Yes, I was too busy eating my steak. So
tons of good guys, his friends. I can't remember all their names.
There was Adam, the driver, that had the Rolls Royce. There was Randy. Randy was sat next to me. We had Anthony there. There was a few other people. Was Dean Lesiak there? I don't think Dean was there.
His name.
Yeah, we had a great night. I had a couple of glasses of red wine, and I was feeling really very relaxed. It was great. So yeah, that was a great dinner, and but the seminar was really good because the way that Kirsty Fan now. The way they did their VIP setup, they got goodie bags for all the VIPs. They had like lanyards with, and it was the way they did it was very clever. And they had like lighting, and we had our Global Muscle banners, and because it was in the seminar room on the roof in the middle of the city, and all astroturfed, and there was benches. They had a barbecue going. There was people from. Believe it or not, there was actually one or two people there also to see me and AJ because they love the show. They love what we do here.
Fantastic. Yeah.
One even AJ was getting lots of love, lots of. In fact, I think he got 10 times more pictures than I did. So I'm very upset about that. Although someone asked me to sign their Jordan Peterson book because he said I got him to read the book, which then helped his relationship with his family. So
that's nice.
That was a real touching moment.
Everybody in this room, if I said, let's go out here and go hit some arm exercises, probably sign up for it really quick. But if we said, let's go hit some heavy legs, somebody's like, I'm not doing that shit. Here is an opportunity for you at Phil Heath, a defining moment in your life. A why in the world to choose sleep, rest, or get in the gym. Gym culture to me is everything. You can have all the good toys, the equipment and stuff, nice juice bar, spa, all that stuff, but it's the people, it's the energy that makes it, especially for me. I see people mourning, I see people celebrating, I see people confused every day. And what I see also is that one day, someone's going to be looking for their family member, and they're going to say, it's Phil Heath.
Fantastic. But who signed your book? What was that book, Jordan Peterson? What was that about?
It was I forget the guy's name, but he's someone I interact regularly on Messenger and stuff. And also, I maybe shouldn't. AJ, you don't say a word now, but because you guys trained together, and there was someone there. It was a bikini girl that wanted to train legs with me, and she absolutely kicked my ass on legs. A bikini girl, so I hang my head in shame. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
Quite right.
Yeah, so what's next?
Next day is
Strength Asylum. That was in Stoke-on-Trent.
Strength Asylum. What was that again? Where was that again?
In Stoke-on-Trent.
Oh, the hardcore deck, 5-finger deck.
Yeah. No. Strength Asylum. Do you remember? Where you're watching the video with Phil of the 2018 Olympia.
Oh, I saw that on Instagram. Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes,
oh,
yeah,
stand
AJ,
up, stand up.
This is a cool gym.
Show the camera. Up.
Up. There you go. Strength Asylum. What did you think of that gym, AJ?
He's pretending he doesn't know it.
What?
Did you enjoy the gym?
Great owner and his wife.
That's Andrew Parker. Andrew Parker. Big thank you to Andrew Parker there. And plus, by this point, we had the nice car to drive around in as well. Here at Strength Asylum, more people waiting to see Phil Heath train. Quick sneaky side chest there. Oh yeah, you're right, yeah. Strength Asylum. One of the best gyms in the country. Is this one of the best gyms in the country?
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
We had Owen Powell showed up. Owen Powell.
Yeah, Owen Powell, the classic competitor. He's on the verge of getting his pro card.
And his brother, what's his brother called again?
Mr. Powell.
We sat there, and all of a sudden they put on the Mr. Olympia 2018 show.
Yeah, literally, we were literally sat here. There was me, Phil, AJ. We sat there just getting some food because we just arrived. We had a little bit of time to play with. And then up on the screen, right up next to us, was the 2018 Olympia, all the comparisons, all the judging, wasn't there, AJ?
Are you forgetting something? We had the bodybuilding second best photographer,
Per Bernal flew in from LA, and he flew in the day before, and he actually met us in Birmingham. He kind of caught, because when Phil trained chest with Simon Fan and another guy, I missed his name. Oh no, it was Ricky Singh. They trained chest together. Per Bernal filmed that because he got there late. He missed the seminar, but he got there and he managed to film. And it's funny because there was about 5 different people filming. And what I liked the fact that everyone kind of just... Normally I thought, oh, even 2 video people filming in each way of each other, you know, they're going to get... But there was like 5 of them, and everyone was getting there. Everyone was getting what they wanted. You know, Per Bernal wasn't kind of being superior. He was just kind of just moving around. It was great. It was really great.
Let's give a big hand for 7-time Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath.
The beginning to the end. You are the director, the producer, the lead actor of your life. Control it.
Because Per's obviously a well-established and well-known, very famous photographer. To have that kind of level of coverage from him, what did that mean to you as an avid lover of the media?
Huge. I mean, I've been with MD since 2011, so obviously I was because he was with MD up till I forget what year now. So we had.
So he was with MD.
Yeah, he was with MD for over 20 years. Is AJ coming back now? Or was that Triple H? Little Triple H. Yeah. So having Per on the tour was an honour for me. How did that go today? Strength Asylum, Stockholm-Trent.
But great day.
Great day. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, loved it.
Amazing experience, mate. Amazing.
Yeah,
truly.
Good speaker, good trainer.
Yeah.
100%.
Big arms.
Yes.
Bigger
than my head.
Is Andrew Parker, owner of Strength Asylum. Fantastic job, made us feel very welcome here. This is all the team. There's Per Bernal.
Yes,
I'm pointing to him. So, how do you find the Strength Asylum? Quickly.
Great people.
Great people.
Great energy.
Thank you, everyone.
Very good energy in this.
Very good. We stayed till...
Yeah.
We've been here since 2.
3 till 7, we've been 2 till 10 o'clock, so we've been here ages.
No sleep.
No sleep. We don't need sleep. Champions don't need sleep. It was really fantastic. He was really... the Strength Asylum that's a real... Because they have Mike Martin Ford there. They had Eddie Hall.
Yeah.
And so it's a very, very well-known gym.
Another great venue, another great success. Moving on to the next.
The next one was Power Zone Gym in Wrexham. That was the 5-finger death punch one. That was like walking in. What, AJ, is this fair to say? When we walked in, it was like walking into a film set. It was like an underground fight club where there was like no windows and there's people training with their tops off. The atmosphere was so intense. Everyone was just training hard and screaming, encouraging each other. I think I was the only person in the room that didn't have tattoos, and basically I'm walking in with a tailored suit.
Yeah.
And then everyone with tattoos up their faces. It was a proper, it can only be described as a badass gym.
Your kind of gym, AJ?
We have our own... for me, as long as it's got heavy dumbbells and the gym is clean, for me, I don't matter where I am. But the atmosphere was great.
Incredible, wasn't it?
It was hardcore. We had our own personal chef.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, out the back, yeah, the strongman bit, yeah.
And even though it had a 5-deck punch, whatever you call it,
5-finger death punch as we walked in. Entrance
it was
music.
a lot of good old school hip hop music. You know, West Side Connection, 50 Cent. So you got really into it.
Yeah.
You know, to get 40 reps with a training partner, it's pretty much impossible to get that done within 6 or 7 minutes. But you just saw the impossible tonight. All right, and we did it without crazy aggro attitude. We were letting out a little bit of steam, you know, verbally, but it was more about having a controlled aggression throughout the entire workout. When you see us training online, you have to think sometimes it's because it's a max out day.
And the owner was a really cool guy. He was really bragging.
That's Kane Wynn. Kane Wynn. I was. I've known Kane Wynn maybe 4 or 5 years because I went there. We did a promo thing when I was working with Ronnie Coleman about 4 or 5 years ago, and I knew he was a cool guy. He had his big dogs there, and just a really nice. There was a real electric atmosphere in the room. There was a real excitement, and Kane just couldn't believe that we'd brought Phil. Even though he paid for the seminar and everything, I don't think he could believe that we had Phil in the room. And then Phil was training with one of the guys, and it was funny because they were doing a front race thing, and I walked past, and the guy just lifted up, and I could feel it brush my hair. And if I'd have been an inch closer, I'd have been knocked out. And I'm just walking around, just taking photos and videos, and but that was a real. That for me was it didn't feel real. It didn't feel real. It felt like it was walking into some sort of film set where there's 100 actors in there, all kind of just method acting, but it was real. It was fun. Oh, where's AJ gone? AJ, where you gone, mate? Yeah, so that one for me, and then we had a nice barbecue out the back, and that was a sweat box as well. But Phil was there training, and I think Phil by this point was looking really freaky. We put one of the pictures up from the side pictures, and he put it on I put it on the MD Instagram, and I put it on his Instagram, and everyone was like, he's definitely doing the Olympia because when he was sweating and pumped, he looks 2 weeks out. He looked 2 weeks out.
AJ, the first question you asked when you got to every seminar. I think you're asking it for the benefit of the crowd, really, was to do with the Olympia this year. Was that at every single event? Did you ask that same question? No? Most?
Almost.
Nearly.
After a while, we want the best Olympias possible.
Yeah.
But no, we asked different questions as we went. Yeah. But that's the number one question people want to know.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked probably 8 days. I probably asked him 6 of 8. The first question.
Yeah. That's correct.
So this particular venue, obviously, you've been to now. Is it 6 that you're up to? Was it the same sort of format? Did you have to adapt it in any way, shape, or form? Was it training seminar and then a full seminar afterwards, or a bit of a mix?
Yeah, he trained, and then if people asked him questions, they could ask him questions. He was very easygoing, Phil.
Approachable.
Yeah, I mean, I always had a good feeling about him, but I didn't realize how easygoing and approachable he was. You know, so that was something that. For our first time, and we're taking around, you'd literally drive around this superstar of the sport that most people can hardly believe we brought over. And it's like, sometimes you just forget you got this guy next to you and then you see the huge arms and these forearms. It was just...
and that's just AJ we're talking about.
Yeah. you got AJ in the back.
AJ.
I'd rather watch Phil Heath's pecs than any woman's pecs.
Woo!
So nice and juicy and full.
Juicy.
Round. And his forearms, Charles.
Oh, they got like a bicep coming out of them.
Oh,
crazy! Absolutely crazy. So
he doesn't train them. He said he doesn't even train them direct.
No. Absolutely crazy. And the lines in his traps when he was doing back training, and it was. Sorry, I got itchy ear. Sorry. So Kane Wynn Power Zone. That was another great one. That was it was a fantastic night. And Kane was absolutely buzzing.
And last tour night.
Is that the second to last then?
Yeah, that's the second to last. And the last one was was when we went, because we drove home that night because it was within driving distance. So we drove home, dropped Phil and Per back at the hotel, the Shibden. And then on the final day we went to Chris Wormley's Muscle Factory in Swinton.
Talk about what we did first, the charity event.
Oh, of course, yes.
Come on, Giles.
Sorry, this was this was a real highlight for me, because this was something additional. I only asked him a few days before, and when I asked him, because this is Derek Clark, he owns Gemini Gym. He's set up a charity for the homeless and people with learning difficulties from the ages of 19 to 25, because they're really kind of turfed out into society. And I train at his gym, Gemini Gym in Halifax. And he's been working on this for sort of like by himself, really. And he's got to raise £500,000 for like the last kind of 8 months. So I talk about my projects at the end of training. He'll talk about his.
So it's
and I've been wanting to help him.
Up Unique Potential.
Yeah, UP Unique Potential. It's on Instagram. And and I've been wanting to help in a way. So he asked, I said, look, I kind of said, look, I'll ask Phil if you'll do it. Phil said yes. In fact, Phil thanked me. Phil thanked me for asking him. He said, no, he said, this is the sort of stuff, he says, I love doing the training seminars. I love doing all the, the seminars at the gyms and the venues, he says, but he said this, because his brother has autism. He's a high function autistic, like super smart, on certain levels, with certain things, got a very good job. So it's kind of close to his heart, So we went to. So a couple of days before, I had the schedule from Derek, and we got there, and he said the lady mayor. The mayor was Dot Foster was coming there.
Is that the mayor of Halifax?
Yeah, mayor of Halifax. Yeah, the local press, the regional press were there. You were there, Chris.
From Bradford, coming along, Turning Point. I don't know if you've heard of that group. They're a big group. They're hopefully coming to use our facilities too. Doesn't interfere with what we're doing as the day centre, but we're putting in a hydro pool and a physio and a rehab area. And they'll hope, because they don't have access to that, they'll be probably coming over and using our facilities too. So that's great. This is what we're hoping to achieve anyway. The appointment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce my first guest. And obviously I've welcomed him before, and he's no other person but Mr. Phil Heath. Audience, Phil Heath.
Thank you. Definitely didn't expect to come here, but what was really neat was that when I was presented the opportunity, I thought, you know what, how to end a great tour, but to focus on something greater than myself. I've been recently here, obviously talking about health and wellness. Of course, you're going to think really much, how does he train, what does he eat, how does he rest, this, that, and the other. What I've been really talking about is the mind and how we can all become a better version of self. Having programs like this enables kids to be able to do those things. The proper way of getting kids to become better versions of self is to have adults who have already been there, who have already done things, and to remind themselves, wait a minute, that is our future, and what resources can we have, and who can we speak with to make those things come true? I, for one, actually participate in a charity called the Make It Fit Foundation. It's in Cleveland, Ohio. It's for autism awareness. And one of the things I wanted to do, especially back in 2011, when I became a Mr. Olympia champion, was to use that as a platform to provide more awareness to something that was dear to my heart. That was because of the fact that I have a brother who is actually a lot taller than me. He's 6'6", 260 pounds. I don't know what the hell happened. His name is Brandon, and Brandon is high-functioning autistic, so he is pretty much like Rain Man, like super hyper-focused. You bring up any topic, he becomes a definite pro at it right away. He is definitely an encyclopedia, Google, Siri, you name it. But I noticed that having my brother around, wow, wouldn't it be great to have some type of synergy with an organization that provides opportunity? So I got with the Make It Fit Foundation, and what they do is they enable teachers and such to be able to have iPads with software on them, because the average kid with autism doesn't have as many vocabulary words as you and I. But the problem is that when they actually go home, those iPads stay at the school. So what we do is that we raise money through, whether it be a bake sale or a charity event like what I put on, where I grab as many celebrity friends as I can, sign autographs, take pictures, bring out personal merchandise. We raised a lot of money over the last 7 years, definitely within, I'd probably say, the $250,000 range. Just this year we had an event like that in Ohio at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. I mean, it's a great event, but when I heard about this, I thought, gosh, like when I was walking through here, I thought, wow, this reminds me of where I grew up. I grew up in Seattle, Washington, and I grew up in more of an inner city. I was I'll just be honest, I went to a high school that no one wanted to go to. It was supposed to have anywhere from 15 to 1,600 students. Well, it usually started around 1,000 kids, and by the time the year ended, we were probably around 400 kids. And it was because of the lack of opportunity, primarily with their families. Their families weren't doing so hot, they weren't doing so well, and that usually trickles down. And sometimes kids have to drop out of school because the mother, who may be single with 2 or 3 children, actually need maybe the oldest to watch over the younger. And a lot of people out there don't understand what that's like. And they don't understand that that kid is doing what he is necessary to do to be a part of this family. But what I learned is that all those after-school programs were important. All those volunteer members were important. All of those projects that we did growing up were important. For instance, I was a student body vice president my senior year in high school, and I thought it was really neat to be able to go out and focus on one major thing, which was community. I was always an athlete. I was always in the newspapers and stuff like that, but I thought, wouldn't it be really neat if a all-state track athlete, basketball player, yeah, I played basketball back in the day, before all of this, believe it or not, was to do like a cleanup, a community cleanup, or Rose Project, or whatever it is. And then now, 20 years later, that school still has its difficulties, but now, because of our efforts, more people want to join in. Because people start seeing energy, they start seeing positivity, and they say, I want to be his running mate, I want to be her running mate in this pursuit of creating happiness for other people less fortunate. So pretty much that's my story. I'm definitely excited to see the progress, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys sitting here listening to my story, but also why I'm here is to produce awareness to a good cause. And like I said, I mean, when Giles brought this up, AJ brought this up, I didn't even hesitate. I was like, we have to do it. We're supposed to be in the car driving to another appearance. I was like, no. This is very important, because if I'm going to be late to anything, it's to be talking about something that means more than just Phil Heath. And I don't live here. I'm not in the community. But I do plan on coming back, doing more appearances. And one of my biggest goals, a part of being a fitness icon, stuff like that, is to remind even my own fellow competitors and other people that are in a celebrity space, is that you have to remember that there are people less fortunate, but you are not better than them. Okay, you may have got dealt a different card, but these people are, really starving to be better. But we have to remind them that someone has their back. So your input, your resources, your positivity, your attitude will always help their aptitude and their altitude to grow and grab whatever they want in life. I always believe that you have to project what is it that you really want in life. And a lot of young people, especially 19 through 25, don't know what the hell they want to do. They have no clue. And I'll be honest, we all remember when our parents said, hey, what did you learn today? What did you learn today? Oh, Mom, and then you say, what did you learn today? That usually stops around, 15, 16 years old? Probably because the kid already thinks he knows everything. We need to make sure that these 19 through 25-year-olds and above keep asking themselves these questions to produce what? More accountability. But we need the resources to provide them something that they could be proud of for where they grow up. And their community is everything to them. So for us to be leaders to them, I think they will be leaders to the next generation that follow. So I really appreciate it. I know we have some, more time. I don't want to take any more of your time. But I'm just thankful that you were, willing to listen to what I have to say. And obviously, with what is going on here is very, very important. I would love to be able to come back, especially after the $5,000 endowment. I was like, 5,000? I think we can work this out. You can make it the Phil Heath thing. Like 5,000, but in all seriousness, I would definitely love to be able to, next time we come back for a tour, I got to take a full tour of the facility. I also went to college for business management, but also information technology. So even though I have all this body armor on, I got something up here. I'm a little bit of a nerd. So when they were talking about, yeah, he's like, yes. When I was looking through your the schedule and everything like that, and you talk about music. I have to talk about music just for a second. When I was growing up, and I remember my stepfather brought home a keyboard, and my mom was like, he's using this as a freaking toy. Like, he's just making a bunch of noise. She was probably hating the fact that I was just pounding keys, right? What most kids do. He said, okay, well, I'll get him lessons. So I was a classically trained pianist from age 8 to probably 16. So I understand like what music does too. You were talking about music. Music brings everyone together. Music, I mean, it's incredible. So I really like that too. So you guys have, I mean, gosh, this is incredible. Get a basketball hoop too, so I'd like to go shoot. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I would definitely like to hear updates, whatever you have. I mean, if there's anything I can do, especially like with social media and stuff like that, I would have no issue, retweeting or posting on something, because that's what this is about. I mean, I have over 3.5 million on Facebook and Instagram. People need to know what's going on in these different areas. So then more people can say, I want to be a part of that. I have to be a part of this. Because there's too much nonsense going on in the world to not shed light on this cool stuff. So thank you very much.
So AJ and Per Burnell went separately in taxis. They got there just after I got there, because me and Phil turned up. And then I just remember seeing Derek's face when we turned up, and how appreciative he was, because he'd been so nervous that week about the whole thing, and he had people all seated there with the, because he had to go and get the seats. I saw Derek in the gym last night, and he had to go to get seats from the church, and he was very nervous.
Kind
about
of a big
whole
deal for him.
It was a big deal because it's a deal breaker for him.
Yeah.
Because this, he said just having the mayor there, he said the fact that she was so impressed by Phil. Because Phil did like a kind of speech off the cuff again for like 15, 20 minutes. And he was so good. He made such a good impression. That's really going to help his fundraising now. That's going to make a big difference to people's lives.
Yeah. He filled the room with rhetorical eloquence.
Okay. I'll have to go to my thesaurus to look that up. Yeah, no, sorry.
JJ's like, whoa.
No, that was, so what was your impression? Because you got there first, didn't you?
I found that, his level of, I mean, first of all, he's at the corner to the side, waiting for the whole thing to start, and talking to the mayor, and going through some ideas, I guess, of what's going to be said and what the project's all about. But then to be introduced after a very brief intro to stand in front of a group of people who aren't within the bodybuilding gym training arena, which is what he's been used to and what he's done for the past 7 days.
Yeah.
And then reel off what he did, which I've captured on camera, and we'll put some of that out on this, is a skill in itself.
Yeah.
But it goes to show how many layers there are to Phil.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I thought it definitely connected with everybody, certainly put a message out, and everybody again was just sat there with their mouths wide open.
Did you know that Brian Noble was there, the football manager?
I don't do football.
I don't, but I didn't know he was.
No,
apparently I didn't realize
no idea.
He didn't want to be in any photos because he wasn't dressed properly, but apparently he was there.
Right.
So the impression Phil made on Brian Noble is now going to reach out to other celebrities to help bring more awareness to what Derek's doing, because Derek's got to raise £500,000.
Yeah.
But the fact that the mayor alone was so impressed by Phil, and so.
That'll have a positive effect on everything, won't it?
Yeah, because you saw the huge building. He's got to fill that building. He's got to get I think the Aquapill for like the people with physical disabilities, that's going to cost about £250,000.
Huge amount of money. Yeah.
For exercise, for rehabilitation. So
what do you like with charity, AJ? Did you enjoy that experience, being involved in something that's giving something back to the community?
Global Muscle are going to open our own charity soon, won't we?
Yeah. Yeah, no, because
that's how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because I could just feel the energy off AJ when we sat there. He was so. I think he kind of felt proud, If it was something, it was something additional. It was something that, I'll never forget Derek's face when we turned up. He was speechless. He was so. I know he would laugh or cry, but he was so appreciative of the fact that Phil came and did that. He was overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed, and and like I said, it makes a big difference to what he's doing now. Yeah. And that's what we wanted to do, because I wanted to help him in any way I could, and the fact that Phil agreed to that, I'm so appreciative for Phil doing that. So that was a huge it was overwhelming what Phil did there. Really good. Thank you so much.
Okay, muscle. Go on, AJ.
Last gym was
Muscle Factory
in Swinton. That was the manager, Faye Simone. Chris Wormley was actually in New York on holiday at the time. So, that was another... We were there quite a while, weren't we? It was a good one, another good one.
very nice scenery. You walk in, you have all the when you walk up, you have all the Olympia winners in the, what do you call it, in the
upstairs
hallway when you walk up the stairs.
And Pert Bonnell was going through every single one of them saying, I photographed that person, I photographed that person, I photographed that person.
Was he?
Yeah, every single one of them.
Great event, great seminar, great training seminar.
Yep.
Faye Simone, who got some posing tips from Phil Heath.
Yeah, because she was competing 4 days later, and she actually got a pro card in Portugal.
Congratulations,
so well done, Faye. Yeah! Well done, Faye. Fantastic.
It's a bit surreal. I think, because I am 5 days out, everything just doesn't seem real anyway at the minute. So it doesn't, exactly. So the whole thing seems a bit floaty. So, yeah, awesome. I was just nervous because everyone was watching. And because obviously I'm so flat. And me personally, I think I look shit. And I do look like
I show your physique up in the best way possible, don't you?
He's involved the people, which has been really good to see. I think they've really enjoyed that. So, am I speaking here or here?
Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. So yeah, he's involved the crowd. Everyone's been really receptive of what he's done. He's taught people some new training methods. They've jumped in the workouts. So I think he's been really well received today. And he has some really sound advice. And he's a really cool guy, actually. Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah. And are probably the most special night of all the seminars was probably when Phil cried at the end.
Don't, you're going to start me off.
It
was. Do you want to say? Because that was really like that was the end of the tour, and then he started.
Well, somebody came over to me at the end of that seminar and said, "Has Phil done that before?"
No.
And did I think that those were genuine tears?
I can see he was wiping them away. It wasn't fake.
It was genuine. It was 100% genuine. I've got it on camera. We'll show it. I hope Phil appreciates why we've shown it.
I'm getting a lump in my throat just talking about it now.
But the topics that he went through again were varied. He connected with the audience. He connected with Biggie the dog as well.
Oh yeah, the dog. Yeah.
Biggie the dog,
cute dog.
I think people responded well to what he had to say, he also responded well to the questions that were being asked. He was being asked questions throughout the training seminar because he was training again, and he got people involved. He got people actually training with him as well, which I thought was good because I'd not seen that before. You see,
double down on your bets, triple down on these bets, Phil, because every time you bet. Anybody watch poker? World Series of Poker? You ever see like when it's like the final table and they show the percentages after they show the first 3 cards, and one guy's got 91% and another guy's kind of shitting his pants, and he only got 9%. He kind of knows it, but he knows that he's got a chance, and he just says, and he stands up like this, and he's like, and the other guy's sitting there because he's like, I'm playing percentages, I got 91%, same I'm about to win this pot. And then it goes to the next card, and it goes to the 94% here, 60% here. And he's like, you can tell, he's doing one of these, he's kind of walking back and forth, and he's looking around at his wife like, sorry, And then the next card, and he wins. That guy goes home. That's what I'm doing. Double down, triple down on myself. Because I'm always going to win. All the way back when I was a kid. Going through all these challenges, couldn't quit then. I had to double down on my abilities. I had to double down on my faith. I had to double down on that was worth it. And the fact that I knew that there was more things in life that I was going to achieve if I had the guts to go through it. I had to take the hits. I had to be ridiculed, but I don't think it's understood. And I knew that I had to be
really, I don't have any children, you know? I would really like for them to look at me and say, you know, he's the sweetest guy I know. And it wasn't handed to him. The reason why I have what I have is because he went through all this other stuff before I was born. So, obviously I have baby fever. But I have a willingness to go through this, and I share this with you. And I didn't even cry one time this whole damn trip. And I didn't know what I was coming here. I knew I wanted to do something different. I wanted to give Giles and AJ an opportunity to have a 7-time Mr. Olympia alongside with them. It's almost like you see people that have a good passion for something. Look, I'll be honest, I could charge probably 3 times as much and got away with it. I said, no, man, let's just do this, let's build something. Because there's going to be something passionate about this. There's going to be something that we all can learn. I learned that life is worth living. No one should want success more than you. I'll repeat that. No one should want success more than you. If you want to be anything, you can't just work at it. You have to do what? You have to claim that shit. Because there are so many people who want to create the distortion.
The disabled bodybuilder. I can't remember his name.
Shiraz, because it's my favorite wine.
The Ricky Mack, our friend.
Ricky Mack. I spoke to Per Bernal about Ricky Mack yesterday. Per Bernal's going to get some modelling work for Ricky Mack.
Oh, fantastic.
Ricky Mack is very beautiful.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Well, you trained with him, didn't you, AJ?
He wasn't that strong as I expected.
Shout out to Shiraz. Shiraz came in and did a podcast with me, not yesterday, the day before, for my Pump Media channel.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he came in. He travelled all the way from where he lives in Manchester. Picked him up from the train station. He sat where I'm sat now to do a podcast to talk about his experience in bodybuilding.
Oh, nice.
He's got cerebral palsy as well as some mental disabilities, which he spoke about quite openly. So kudos to him. For making the journey to Swinton, because it's a trek, for him. So, but yeah, I think the experience that everybody had that night was enjoyable, and I think people got a lot from it.
It was nice to see Elliot Reed as well.
Yes.
Yeah, someone I've been connecting with since we started doing this show, because he's been going through his own. We've mentioned him in the show before. He's had some health issues. These. Some issues that he's kind of battling to overcome. That he's coming through the other side, and he says myself and Derek Lunsford at the early parts were the ones that were reaching out to him that were really making a difference to his life. And he says, and he's been messaging me ever since about Phil. He says I'm on it. I'm prepping my food. I'm putting weight on. He says I'm gonna compete. He says I'm desperate to get Phil supplements when they come out, and it is. I think that sometimes it can just. It can, that Y in the road, it can take people from there to there and put them back on the right track, get them mentally strong again, and give them that kind of boost that they really look for, So, to be honest, from what I'm taking away from the whole tour was the messages, like for people who were at the seminars. Like there was one guy who was an army vet, and he'd had his leg blown off, and he was saying that he's kind of been going through a real tough time, and he was so glad that he made the 4-hour journey. And like those messages, I keep going back and reading them through, and those are the ones that make me feel, because I was so exhausted after the tour. I was so emotionally exhausted. I just couldn't even for about 2 or 3 days I couldn't even function. And it was just when I was scrolling through, looking at them, it made it all worthwhile. And I've passed them on to Phil, and Phil thanks me every time. So
you've been horrible at war jobs. You in 20 days over the like shooting people and no food.
Hey, it's all right for hey AJ. I did all the driving, mate. So you were just sat in the back trolling.
Well, if it makes it better, the car was no. Let's go. Yeah.
And also, I was really gutted. We had to give Anthony his car back because we were halfway through the tour. We swapped because we needed a bigger car. So Anthony gave us his car because he got company insurance. And what was it? Like, it was a very, very nice Audi Q7 with these big wheels. And it's about 100 grand's worth. So that was. I didn't want to get. I said to him, "Are you sure you don't want to keep my car?" Plus, we left all our prep meals, didn't we, in the car? And that car reeked when I got it back, and it was still in the back. And of course, it's been so hot. And I went to drive it the other day at my house. And me and Rosie got in the car, and she just went, "Oh my God, Charles, what is that? Something's died."
In the ghetto where Nathan the Ash's old neighborhood was, and some people threw eggs at our car. Remember?
Oh God, yeah. That was
Tell
funny.
me, I didn't know about that.
Well, hang on. I think that was when we were leaving. That was when we left Stoke-on-Trent. We were driving back, and we needed some food urgently.
Yeah.
And Phil was on his Phil and Per were like typing on the maps thing, food or whatever, and there was a pizza place. And I don't even know where we drove to. I have no idea where we went. And it was like the ghetto, wasn't it? Yeah. There was some drunk blonde girl who was kind of falling all over us. And Per wasn't polite after a few minutes. He was like, because Per is like the most polite person on the planet. Even he was like, get away from me. And then, because we parked the car outside, this really nice car. And then, AJ, you tell the story.
And then we walk out, all of a sudden, some people shout from the window, "Move, move!" And we're like, "What?" We see up, and she throws eggs.
Started throwing eggs at the car.
No way.
From the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course we have to leave in like a hurry. And the thing is, there's like a special what's it called? Thingy you have to start the car with. There's like a combination,
right?
Like a what's it called? Security thing.
Yeah.
So you got to press the button, pull this thing 3-4 times, and then you got to do this. And I was going, I can't bloody do it. I was like, fucking these eggs flying through the air. It was like, and then Phil said, "Giles, you'd be a hopeless getaway driver, mate."
Yeah.
So, and I like literally just floored it out of like, I mean, it was like the Bronx, wasn't it? It was a shithole. So the pizza was nice.
To wrap it up.
Yep.
What do you want to say, Giles? What do you want to say? Say something epic now. How did you enjoy the experience?
Well, I think I've said everything I want to say. Really, it was an experience. I mean, even by day 2, there was things I think I would do differently to improve the next ones. But I think overall, I mean, 6 weeks ago, 7-8 weeks ago now, this was an idea we had. And I remember because me and Rosie were going to Nando's, and she says, "Giles, you should be doing these tours." And I remember couldn't wait to get home. That's all I talked about were in Nando's. I came home, I rang you, AJ, and AJ went, "Giles, bro, stop. First, one thing, why didn't we think of this before?" That was it. He said, "Why didn't we think of this before?" And I went, "AJ, you're right, mate. Why didn't we think of this before?" So, I mean, should we talk about the fact that we want to be doing more with Phil?
We will announce it on Global Muscle.
Yeah, well, we were in talks because Phil was so happy. He sent some really lovely messages. He sent a nice message to Chris. He sent a nice message to you. Sent a nice message to me. And I've been speaking, because at the end of the day, Phil went home happy. The fans someone put on my Instagram last night, says, "I think you guys have changed the perception." I says, "No, we haven't changed the perception. We've just allowed Phil we've just put him on a platform where people have had a chance to actually interact him and make their own opinion of him, not going through some clickbait, bullshit, media industry shit that is just not... It's not an accurate representation of who he was, because I didn't see a glimmer of any of that Phil that they talk about on the tour. He was himself. He's super intelligent, super kind, just very... It was... do you think I feel like it's changed me a little bit?
I want to end it with the most important thing he said. Don't be bitter, be...
Better. Yeah. That's it. What more can you say? AJ? But anyway, guys, honestly, thank you so much for all your help with this tour. I still can't believe it's happened, really. So it was a very amazing experience. It was a lot of fun. I just felt like we were just a load of guys just hanging out, which is exactly what we were, a lot of friends. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of laughs.
Well, I think the feedback generally from the public who've been to these seminars has been very positive, and it certainly shone Phil in a different light, which I think was one of the objectives.
100%.
That's the feedback I've been getting, and kudos to you guys for putting this whole thing together and making it work, and getting people involved. Obviously, a huge congratulations to Phil for putting on such an amazing seminar after seminar after seminar and making each one different and unique in their own right. So a huge kudos to him, and I guess a huge shout out to the promoters who allowed you to put that platform on.
So number one, we had obviously we had Jordan Peters, who had him for the training seminar, and the video is actually available on Train by JP. You can join that by prescription. You, Chris Clark from Pump Media, for putting on that amazing first night, which was just the most incredible way to start off the tour. Second day, day, Ian Chambers, Powerhouse Gym in Whitehaven. And then third day was Allion Pacific Fitness in Pontypridd, Wales. Fourth was John Thurston at Muscleworks Gym in Orpington, Kent. Fifth was Simon Fan. Congratulations on getting married to Kirsty as well. That's on the Ultimate Fitness 2 in Birmingham, Holloway Road. Check it out. Number 6 was the Andrew Parker at Strength Asylum. Lovely people, really lovely people. And also, AJ, we've left our banners there. Because I said we'd lost the banners, and I had a feeling the last time we saw them was at Strength Asylum, so I've got to go and get those collected. So maybe catch a quick session down there as well. 7, Power Zone Gym, Wrexham, Kane Wynn. What a character, what a legend. Absolutely love you, mate. What a great bunch of people. And then the Derek Clark, obviously, for inviting us to that charity thing, which I think is really going to make a difference in people's lives, and it's made a difference to him. And he said, do you know what he said to me last night? He said, Giles, it doesn't feel like such a big mountain to climb anymore. He says, I'm feeling motivated to just take it one step at a time. He says, and I will get there. And he says, and this has made a huge difference. So big thank you to Phil for agreeing to that, because that was something additional we threw at him at the last minute. And he could have said no. He could have said, no, I'm not doing it. Or I want to be paid or whatever. And he didn't say that. So he actually thanked me. So that tells you a lot about Phil Heath. And last one to Face and Moan. Congratulations on getting your pro card. Chris Wormley, who was actually away in New York at the Muscle Factory in Swinton, another fantastic hardcore gym. So big thank you to absolutely everyone. And AJ, I can't wait till the next one now, mate. Are we glutton for punishment or what?
We're back next week with Global Muscle.
Yep, big guests.
And now it's time to do the hyping for the Mr. Olympia contest 2019.
Yeah. Can't wait for that.
Who's going to win?
Brandon Curry.
Who's going to win, Chris?
Brandon Curry.
Who's going to win, AJ? Brandon Curry. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight.
Who are we doing our next tour with?
Yeah, buddy. Lightweight.
Okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this little bit Global Muscle special. Like you said, I mean, we only started this show 7 months ago, and here we are at the 30th episode. Feeling very proud of what all the guys have achieved. And AJ, you know, I know he can't be with us, but he flies over. Don't forget, he flies over to Norway every 2 weeks. And also, we've got some more big announcements from AJ's side of things, which we'll be announcing on Global Muscle in a few weeks. So, yeah, big thank you there, and big thank you to Chris Clark as well.
No worries, I'm going to wrap this one up by saying at the end of this video now we're going to more than likely put some training footage out of Phil with some music. So if you're an audio listener, flick over to YouTube, make sure you check it out.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed the episode.
And we are out. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Oh, hang on, AJ's still talking. What do you think, mate? That was good. AJ, what we doing?
We're doing arms with Phil Heath. I'm pumped already. First time ever I'm training with Phil Heath. So, I'm like a kid in a candy store.